Welcome to Dripping with Meaning on the Spirituality Gone Wild Network. I'm so excited to see everyone today. It's such a fabulous day, and there's many reasons why, right? So great to be alive and healthy and happy and excited to jump right into our next chapter with Unleash Your Light with the lovely Lee Cara. Today, we will be discussing faith and jumping completely into your unknown and the remedies within the spiritual fire, within the acceptance of being loved and unconditional love. So without further ado, I'm going to bring forward the lovely, amazing Lee Cara. Hi. I'm still not getting volume, sweetie. I'm not hearing you. Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you? Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. Can you guys hear?
Yeah, there was just a little bit of a delay.
Is there an echo? All right. Look,
Yeah,
I have backup head. Let me unplug the backup head. This is the week. See, this is completely representative of the last week, y'all. And I know that it's not just me, and I know that it's not just Nicole, because many of you, yes, many of you have.
I'm so excited to hear others. Yeah.
It's very much been a tower / Five of Wands, Five of Swords kind of week. So I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about having faith, because that's exactly how I got through this week. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I'm untangled. That was good. Okay, let me plug this in. I'm very sorry. This is very unprofessionally. Shame on you. Okay.
That is okay. We are all good. We are all good. So
okay, let's see. Can you hear me now?
Oh, beautiful. So much clearer. Perfect. Yeah, it has been, and for all those awakening into the new astrological influences as well, this time is like really profound for your personal growth and awakening and acceptance of yourself and the power that you are here to understand and unfold amongst the powers that be.
Yeah. I really was struck by, and please guys, jump into the comments if you're here. I know there's a little StreamYard-y thing. If you want to comment and you can't figure out how to do it, you got to let StreamYard, attach itself to your Facebook. Hi, Lynn Marie. I was really struck by the space in which I felt both as small and as insignificant and worthless as a flea, which a flea is very important. So, I'm just saying, in the moment, I was feeling so incredibly small and yet also feeling like a piece of everything, like at the same time, like feeling expanded and yet also being so distraught over the minutia and the details of things and the insecurities that were exposed by the events of the week. It was just this really informative, difficult, but wonderful space to be in, because I learned a hell of a lot, even though I felt like terrible almost all week, so, and this is what we do. This is what spirituality is. It's not like butterflies and lights and rainbows and shooting out your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little bit of the rough and rowdy, and it's a little bit of, going with the flow. And, that's what this.
What actually is coming into your acceptance? Like, what are you like actually looking to line up for this year? I think it was really great, and anyone else who is in the Spirituality Gone Wild Network, to see astrologically and to see metaphysically where things are really progressing for people who are journeying on that spiritual path. And as I said in the comments when I wrote last night, is where is our spiritual fire, and what is the power of toning and owning your spiritual fire? And it is profound life changes when we step forward in our light and we accept all of our contrasts and find that inner reserve of who truly we are and keep using our voice and keep being persistent, and towards our vessel, towards our being, the light in our beingness, right? It's
Yeah.
very illuminating. The dark is very illuminating.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a making a choice. These choices that we make every day. Thank you, Lynn Marie. These choices that we make every day, these spaces that we step into, what are we willing to do? What are the changes that we're willing to make? Are we willing to step into the dark spaces to know what changes to make? Or do we want to wear our blinders and just keep things rolling forward on autopilot, which is a choice, I mean, free will. Was it Rush? If you choose not to decide, you've still made a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the choice to not
Yeah,
pursue
non-choice.
the dark shadows is a choice. But then you have to live and sit in the consequences of those actions. It's really
Yeah.
about, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to have faith that even though everything looks bleak, it's for your best? Are you willing? Because faith is not religion. It can be, but it doesn't have to be connected to religion. It's faith in divine. It's faith in ourself. It's faith in that connection. It's faith in unconditional love. What are you willing to let go of going into this new year, going into this new space of, we've been going through all these steps of unleash your light, right? You're not alone. Be nice to yourself. Be nice to others. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Ignore your feelings. Set your mind. Now we're to have faith. So why should we? Because that's the entire, like, that space when we trust in ourselves, that space where we love ourselves. When we are loving ourselves, we are loving divine directly, because we are an expression of divine. And that space makes everything move forward. That space emits a frequency of healing, of love, of unconditional love to all.
And I
Are
think
we
when we let
willing
it,
to
I
step?
think creatively, like, unconditional love is very permeating and forever. And I think on my new journey and my new level of shamanism that I'm taking right now with Angi yoga, and it is not a walking physical yoga, although I started doing physical yoga again, and I've been opening up some energies, but I as well am starting this totally theosophistical, very wonderful feeling of carrying a light within, that through practice, daily practice, that becomes yours. And
Yeah,
even in your, when you're in your darker moments of what you caught on to that day or what the lesson was, you can, light your own candle again, and you can go deep within to look at it. So knowing your cards and knowing, where you feel your energies are, with a business contract or with a friend or even with your car. I mean, like, you can assess it from every level of your entity, right? Like, lining up for more of that which is going to properly keep you safe and in that love of self, and knowing that, we are these eminent beings that are keeping ourselves really well through times of challenge and through adversities, right? I think it's an interesting play on your own inner hero, the heroic element of self acceptance, that when you fully fill your plate of all these experiences of emotions, thoughts, and what becomes well beingness, in the end, you've made the right choice, right? You've actually cognizantly chose to get up and go for that walk and to fulfill, your lungs with air and to see the beauty of the earth. So
absolutely. I mean, if we're all here, if we want to phrase it like that, if we're all here, we're the star of our own video game. And this is one of those great big worlds that they build where you can go off and have whatever freaking adventures you want, right? And so, like, that embracing of the joy in the journey, right? That embracing of knowing. So, what would the purpose of our video game be? What is the purpose of the adventures? It is to integrate divine into everything. It is to integrate that space. You want to say that we have light workers here, light workers, whatever term you want to use, people who are waking up all over the world. Why? Why is that happening? Well, first of all, have faith and know that it's happening exactly as it should, but also it's happening so that we can create this space of peace, this space of safety, this space of love, so that we can see divine in every person, because every person has divine within them, is divine within them, no matter what their actions are, no matter what their choices are here on this planet. So when I believe, I have faith that my role as a light worker is to integrate unconditional love into everything, and to see both the duality and the non-duality in every other person. So when somebody is doing something that is, makes me mad, or is carrying a sign that makes me mad, or, I'm angry, or I'm whatever it is, shifting that space and seeing the divine within them, knowing that whatever they're doing is motivated by some sort of trauma in their own life, some
Yeah.
sort of thing that they grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
shifts the energy that I'm putting out towards them, right? So when that happens, they automatically shift, whether I'm in their energy field or not. If you are constantly attacked, you build thicker and thicker skin and you listen less and less, right? So a person who is making you angry is probably making a lot of other people angry. So think about how energetically 1,000 people, 100,000 people sending hate, sending anger, sending,
Yeah, the
that person is
reboot,
a
not
horrible,
good.
that's a villain, that's at someone who's really just having a human experience and playing their role, but is also a piece of divine that when y'all get to the other side, you're probably going to go, hey man, sorry about that shit where I burned a cross on your yard, or whatever the hell it is that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the God in that other person, seeing that before you react in anger, that's having faith. That's having faith. That's seeing oneness. That's finding unity, knowing that that person is expressing their pain in the only way they know how. No
Yeah.
judgment, man. We all do what we need to do, right?
And then when we set up our home lives and our relationship lives and our relationships with our animals or etc., to not download other people's stuff, because it can be complicated, especially during times of, pandemics and etc., to not feel the attachment to the irregular, unharmonious days of colder times Canada right now we're facing. And nobody wants to go another round with it. But I think that in this round, in my brilliance of like my own accomplishments and things that I've desired, I am more fully ready to foster myself again. And I think when you look at the astrology for this year coming, the fostering of oneself is pretty much the way of personal self acceptance, self understanding, in the sense that the understanding you may want to give to that other you're cultivating as a light worker or a healer, adept, medium, whatever, teacher, is actually the influence of yourself upon yourself, because you've given so many more hours to that state of love
Yeah.
for yourself. It's hard to kind of see, because it's not something taught this state. It's something that you have to take some really good time at. I mean, we go to gyms and we make healthy wellness choices in their beautiful aspects, but taking that deep inner stance where you're understanding, what energies are present for you in the body, and how your thoughts reflect it back into your body, or how particular styles of breathing are going to help you unlock energy within the body, or different humming has been fun for me lately for unlocking energy too, on many levels. So it's sort of cold, wintry here, and indoor activities are a lot more of a necessity,
Mm-hmm.
for the day to day. But also card readings, right? The amazement of being able to pick up my cards and see the different beautiful ways of looking at the individual goals it
Yeah.
kind of bonds us when you see that there's so many ways for us to bring our goals together, and to see that that spiritual enlightenment isn't just for one, but for whoever wants to be on that path.
Right. And it is infectious and it is contagious. This space of creativity, this space of good morning. I got your order, by the way. It's going to go out. I'm packaging it up today. I'm going to put it in the mail. This space of creativity, this space of self-love. Oh, okay. Let's see, Sam. That's excellent insight. Judgment doesn't serve anyone. Remembering that everyone is an extension of divine, having a human experience helps with that. Yes, for sure. And that the more that you can love others, the more that you love yourself. And it's very cliche to say, and it sounds very, like, I don't know, after school special. I don't even know if youngins know what after school specials are, but, it's movie of the week kind of a thing, when you love yourself more, and the things we dislike in others are the things we dislike in ourselves. But it's 100% true. The things that others do that that upset us, that put us into our space, is about us. It's not about them. The things that they do is about us and our expansion, so that we can learn from it, so we can grow from it. Now, it doesn't stop the fact they might be a jerk. It doesn't stop the fact they might be wrong. It doesn't stop the fact, but they're not doing it to hurt us. They're doing it to help us. And having faith in that, and knowing that that is another expression of God giving you an opportunity to heal something because it is now triggered and pointed out to you, that's a gift. It's a gift. And we can say, F my life, I screw this gift, I don't want to look at this. Or we can take it and open up. I kind of described it this week of like, I got a present that looks like it's everything I want. And when I opened it up, a million baby spiders ran out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like every insecurity that I ever had poured out of the box. But this is an opportunity to have faith, right? This is an opportunity to step into that space of knowing that even though what I'm going through is difficult, it is helping me to love myself more because it has exposed a place in me where I was not loving myself. Do you know what I'm saying? That is having faith, where you sit in the knowledge that these things that hurt can also help, that these spaces that the universe is creating for us with these other people, with these other, things in the real world, in our game, these challenges and levels that we're supposed to overcome, if we're going back to the video game analogy, right? With the goal being complete self-love, without the fear creating self-defense mechanisms, without the fear blocking what's coming, without the fear creating conditioning and, repeating stories of our, karmic loops and our pain and our trauma and whatever. If the goal is to get to a space where that's not part of our programming anymore, programming in the game, right? Then every time that are you the type of person that has an opportunity to have a battle with another, with another thing in a video game, and you run away and hide and get 5 points, or do you attack and get 50 points? So like everybody gets to play the game the way they want. Sometimes you might need to run off in the woods, but this is the space of having faith, of knowing that this experience is for us to expand, and that this experience is for us to love ourselves, and that this experience, as you were saying, is a moment-to-moment practice that takes attention, that takes work. If you were going to the gym to work on a muscle, to build up a muscle, you would go to the gym and you would work out over and over again, right? The muscle rips, which is
Mine's bigger than
painful,
yours. No,
right?
it's not.
Thrown like bull.
It's like
The
so
the
small.
the muscle rips and then
I
it
just
grows
started my
bigger.
routine again.
Oh, did you? I did too yesterday. The muscle rips and it gets bigger. It heals in between. And then you do it again and the muscle rips and it gets
Yeah.
bigger and it heals in between. The heart is a muscle. Every time it breaks, it rips open, heals in between. Yes, it is wonderful to see everyone in here. Hi, Luke. So that space of
Because
knowing
we're
that,
gangsta like that. Because we're
yes,
gangsta in our
we
spirituality.
are.
I think coming into Relentlessly Open and understanding all of those creative faculties, right? And seeing ourselves create and make every last step, and honor our truth being that we are spirit beings. Like we can just sidestep the silliness of the reality of separation. And we spoke of this last night late. So it made me sleep like a million good sleeps in one sleep, just because I was like, finally, I realized that I had a complete contact with a beautiful person who I love and who I care for divinely. And I realized that there was something sacred about that sharing, and that God consciousness or awareness and that deep rooted mystical path that I've been on for 25 years isn't just about me. Like, it's actually about sharing it. Like, and it's just like, wow. And I felt like I slept 10 sleeps in one night. It caught up with everything I needed. Right. So that awareness of consciousness and dinner with Fred or the Dalai Lama, or, a moment with Christ, or a moment with the Prophet Muhammad, whoever your prophet is, and wherever you're seeking source, it's perfect just as it is. Because when you actually communicate that with another being, we're spirit beings in this body, when you actually are communicating that, you're upping your game. It's like
Yeah.
you're the princess getting all those. I know I'm a Nintendo fan, but you're the princess getting all of those radishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love radishes. So like, I'm like so happy to share. I'm so happy to share for sure.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Yeah, and every time that we step into it and say, this is my radish, and this is my radish, and this is my radish, it's literally like self fuel, self nourishment, and recentering throughout the day. And it gets easier and easier and more natural the
Mhm.
more that because it's like reconnecting over and over again with divine. You're opening like a little communication with your divine self, with your piece of God that rides around with you, which is a piece of the whole, but is right now with you. And so it's like constantly like trying to talk to you, trying to connect with you, trying to do this. But the more that you do this, then the next time now you have a bigger connection. Then the next time now the connection is like this, and you're
Mhm.
pulling it away. Not I say the next time. It might take you a week. It might take you 3 weeks. It might take you a month. It depends on how often you slip into it, how often you lean into it, how often you ask for connection, how often you connect to it to get intuition, to get knowledge, to get you can use it throughout your day. Like you said, get me, I'm going to find there's going to be a parking spot right up front, isn't there? Boom. Yes, there is. Of course there is, not asking, but saying, I have faith.
Yeah.
There's a parking spot right there. And, people who do the manifestation, law of attraction stuff, they say stuff like that and people go, oh, whatever. It's coincidence. It's this, it's that. Call it whatever you want. I like to park closer to the front of the store. So I'm happy when that happens. But you know what I'm saying? It's that space of absolute faith and knowing without any of the fears that could block that from happening.
Well,
And if we
fear is
picture,
false evidence appearing real, right? But if you're actually getting up to that scheduled sense of self where your divinity matters first thing in the morning, your visualization came, then
Mhm,
you took that moment with prayer. Then you
mhm,
blessed your body with some, like for me, aromatherapy. You blessed yourself,
mhm.
right? And then you stand in the light with deity. Like if deities work, like I understand some people, they may be less to the religious, but sometimes in prayer, even just this posturing with the breath and sensing the energy between, knowing your energy, right there is my point of communication.
See, and I do more of a qigong like this, you know, and where it's right in between my hands,
Mm.
and I
And you're
just
sensing the
hold it.
energy. So then your
Yeah,
thought, which is coming from here in third eye, is actually going out and you're radiating, okay, my angels are protecting me and I'm getting to that parking spot. This is going to work out great. You're changing your mood to arrive happily.
yeah. This is like for my heavy duty when I'm really feeling like I need some real heavy duty love and connection. Like when I really got to resend, remember who the hell you are, right? Like Rafiki, you have forgotten who you are. When I get to those moments in my day where I take a moment and I do my little thingy here, I feel my little ball. Sometimes I stick it right on my head and run it down my body once it's all like charged up, you know. I I I rather than all the ritualistic stuff, all ritualistic, I tend to just take small moments and connect. I just breathe and feel it and let it come over me. And then I move it on, you know. But I've been purposefully connecting to it for since my awakening in 2012. So it comes faster for me. But there are moments when I choose not to connect. And in those moments where I choose not to connect, I'm choosing my pain and my human suffering and whatever I'm going through. And I choose to have this experience of pain rather than immediately tap into all of the flow of water over it, because I don't want it to pop up again as another like little wildfire. I want to dig it out. Yes, that chi energy. I was lucky enough to connect with a wonderful young lady named Jennifer Hawley who introduced me to the qigong stuff. And I'm no expert, I'm not great at it, but I do like the energy part of it and the movement, and sort of uh, brought forth a memory from a way past life, you know, of that movement kind of a thing, and using the energy and moving it around you. So, and then Sifu Boggy is the other person that also, he's so much fun. If you guys can look him up, he does qigong, and like he's got a TikTok, he does like 15-second qigong where you can like, he does the amp yourself up, and he, you know, all of these things where you can really get that. You're talking about the breathing that can disrupt, you know. I think that for my space of having faith, radical self-awareness, and paying attention when I slip in to the old patterns, when I slip into the old pain and that disruption. You and I have discussed it a lot, making like some sort of crazy, you know, joke, or seeing some sort of weird like thing in your head to disrupt that energy. When you start really getting in that space, is like having faith. It's like a reminder, hey, snap out of it. If you like cheer, you know what I'm doing. Snap
I
out
think
of
what
it.
I
What are
said
you
to you, we're
doing?
jumping, like we're going 3, 4, 5 dimension for me, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because I'm already present in the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've been doing it for 25 years. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time is slipping into your humanness, is in being in your contract, is being able to weigh out, see the contrast, the light and the dark, and to choose that feeling state emotion, which is going to keep you safe, well, and learning what you desire, learning what makes you happier, learning to be in a vibration and a frequency that allows for your understanding to happen, which to me, it just, that's all in my channel. Like it just pops all up in visuals. So
Yeah.
I got a beautiful one of a crane this morning. It was a crane in a rainbowish kind of background with a lot of different lights, different colors and stuff. I could paint it, I guess. It would be pretty. It'd be a really pretty painting.
Yeah. There's a crane card in the, I think it's the Wild Animal Tarot. It's like a black and white deck that has some rainbow colors in it, and it's a crane. Where I used to live in Florida, we had sandhill cranes that would come and hang out in the yard and that sort of thing. You do not want them to
In the
pick your house
yard, really?
out.
Are they
Yeah,
are they
they are
friendly? Like,
so loud. They're so loud. It
so can
sounds
you
like
like,
babies crying. You
they're
can
loud?
feed them.
Oh,
Oh
we
my God.
really?
But the
It's
thing
crazy.
is that if you start doing that, then you'll have 6 of them in your yard at 6 a.m. crying like babies outside of your window, waiting for you to come out and feed them. And they're protected. You know, where I lived at was like kind of surrounded by
That's
marshy
hilarious.
swampland there. So
I need to
yeah,
see that in a movie.
you do not want to feed the sandhill cranes because they are very loud. And then we would have the what are they, turkey vultures? So if a turkey vulture chose your home to hang out with, you would have 150 of them
Well, we
lined
get
up
them in
along the
Canada.
top of your
Yeah,
house,
they're
all
not. They're
over
not.
your garbage. Anything that was a perch, it would look like nightmare fuel. Like the person's little, and I where I lived at was a Hispanic type neighborhood. So the houses were very brightly, like there was pink houses and mint houses and
Oh,
yellow
that's
houses. And,
cool.
it was in Florida, So here's this like pink house covered in black, giant, like turkey vultures, everywhere. Like you can't even hardly see pink. They're on every single surface, like it looks like a bad omen. I have no idea what this has to do with the topic, but it is very funny. Like that space of seeing that something that you thought you would never see, like cranes you would think, oh, wonderful, lovely. No, don't do it. Just don't do it.
So
But they are very majestic.
I'm putting it into the comments that we're going to get ready to do readings. We don't have as
Oh,
long.
yeah.
I have an
We
appointment
definitely.
at 2 this morning, it'd be my afternoon by then. Now that I work at that other job with all the different time zones, I'm like, what time is it? What time is it in Florida? What time is it?
Yeah. I had to wear a watch at my job for like close to 20 years. I always had to know to the minute what time it was for my entire shift. And I have not put on a watch since I left that job. Like
Sam's
ready for a reading.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this last chapter in my cute little book here,
which you can get,
literally,
everybody's welcome to get, because when we start our course, it's a mandatory thing, so you might as well get it beforehand.
You're certainly welcome to get it. The last chapter is really just about recognizing that the universe is talking to you all the time. The universe is talking to you every single day, and it's trying to talk to you in the language that you speak. So being open to that divine voice, being open to that knowing that the universe is trying to speak to you through the people around you, through the interactions you have, through the things on the ground. I watch an energy reader, tarot reader, who refers to the Emperor card as the Burger King. And so he says, anytime that I see more than one Burger King garbage wrapper in my neighborhood, there's not a Burger King for 15 miles from here. I know I have to do a reading because that Emperor is doing X, Y, Z. So he calls him the Burger King, right? The control freak, whatever. But so he sees the signs in the world around him. The universe brings these things around him. So it's really about that radical self-awareness, those spaces where we see judgment, where you find that snap judgment and shifting that into that having faith that that person is going through an experience just like you are, seeing the oneness, experiencing the separation and experiencing the commonality in the same moment. We have solidarity, but also, no, I'm not going to believe what you believe, recognizing that shared experience and yet the differences all in the same space. Is having faith, is knowing that this experience is for us, It's not an easy thing to do, but it's probably the magic juice, the secret sauce. Like last week was set your mind. The secret was believe what you're saying. It's have faith, right? I mean,
I have been loving through some personal, I always do I always give it a shot of my third eye chakra, but I've been
right, third eye juice.
Just give it a little extra. Don't worry. Enjoy your shade. But yeah, I realistically love this Louise. I love How to Love Yourself deck. Louise,
Mm-hmm.
like and you know what's weird? I've listened to her auditorially enough that I can make it so in my brain she's saying it to me with that tone, with the
Oh,
tone.
wow.
I love that. Yeah.
That's
And they're just self-love cards. Like every single one is just another affirmation, right? Good for a rough day.
So pull us a card, Madam Choice. Pull us a card. I'm jiggling the rune bag, y'all. It's talking to me. Let's do it.
I guess we could do this as a group, collective kind of affirmation for everyone who's out there. So exciting.
Yeah, I got my rune. I already know that it's applicable.
Oh, okay. So it is: the thoughts I choose to believe right now are forming my experiences. I now listen to what I say and do not say anything that I do not want to become true for me.
Right. Intentions, choices, What are you willing to say? What are you willing to do? What are you willing not to say? What are you willing not to do?
It's kind of like Minecrafting your mouth.
Yes. So we got breakthrough and transformation, which is literally what we're talking about. That those of us who are going through, anytime you're going through one of these moments, it's a transformation.
Yeah.
This is the final rune of belonging, or the final rune of the cycle of initiation. Excuse me, y'all. It signals a major shift or breakthrough in the process of self-change, complete transformation in attitude. For some, that transition is so radical that they can no longer live their regular life in a regular way. Because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, although we can't see it from here, and it may not be predictable from here. We may not be able to even predict how it's going to come out because we can't even put it in our brains. In each life, there comes at least a moment which, if recognized and seized, transforms the course of that life forever. Rely, therefore, on radical trust. Now, there's that word again, radical. So y'all need to be like pulling that into your space right now, because the
Radical
universe has repeated it
radishes.
a couple of
Radical
times. Radical radishes, y'all. Go out and collect them. Ting, right? Ting, and it's overhead. I love it. Rely on radical trust, even though the moment may call for you to leap empty-handed into the void. With this rune, the warrior nature reveals itself. So like you said, the hero's journey. You know, Peach is on that hero's journey to get them radishes. She's doing the thing. And then she's got to leap, right? She's got these little tiny legs that just do this. And then she goes off a cliff and she floats. Like you would never expect that, right? That's our life. We're walking around with these little tiny Princess Peach feet, and they go, now jump off the cliff. Are you kidding me? No, no. You look, you see my tiny little
jump.
legs? I can't do that. No, jump.
Faith,
Oh,
right?
right.
Let's
I
have
can
faith
fly.
together.
Right, have faith. Oh, right, I float. Never mind, I'm okay. You know, but then comes another cliff. No, no, I'm not jumping off that cliff. Are you crazy? Oh, right, I float. Okay, I float. I'm good. There's okay. We're all right. Transformation, y'all. Here we go. Oh my God, I've played way too much Super Mario 2 in my life. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So we get
Y'all.
the gangster approach to it. Like it's really not, set it in the sense that we weren't born in this lifetime to be on that mountain as a monk. But let me tell you, I have lived these lifetimes and they were beautiful too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Princess Peach analogy. Sam's crying over it too. I think I feel like I'm laughing, crying, but
Yeah,
it's
it's felt like
beautiful.
that kind of week. It definitely has. So who wants a reading? Sam said he was first, right? So
Yeah, he
shall we
just
pull
so
some cards for Sam?
we did our little one for the group.
Yeah.
So we are at Sam and Lynn and Luke are interested.
Perfecto. Muy bien. Okay, so this is for Sam. That was a very odd energy that just rolled over me, Sam. And you got the blank room. Blank is the beginning, blank is the end. This one is probably my favorite room. It's kind of like pulling the world in tarot, is what I would liken it to. And there's actually controversy because the person who created this book, this is from 1993. This book is bashed a lot in the traditional rune areas because there's a debate over whether there should even be a blank, and that a proper deck doesn't have one.
We
But
still
I
have the
think,
zero fool card. Plus, as an
yes, I
artist, you
think it's
can't
the
really know what you're creating unless you start blank. Like it's a very important state of form and shape and everything and space and time. I agree. I like blank.
I agree. I do too. So it's called the unknowable, the divine, and Odin, the all father. Blank is the end, blank is the beginning. It is the rune of total trust and should be taken as exciting evidence of your most immediate contact with your true destiny, which time and again rises like the phoenix from the ashes of fate. Sometimes it's about a death, but usually the death is symbolic and it can relate to any part of your life that you're living right now, something that needs to change. Relinquishing control is the ultimate challenge for the spiritual warrior. When you get this rune, the universe is letting you know that it is in motion in your life. I apologize. So have faith, basically. In the blankness is held undiluted potential, at the same time both pregnant and empty. This rune comprehends the totality of being and all that is to be actualized. But it also brings to the surface our deepest fears. Will I fail? Will I be abandoned? Will it all be taken away? And allowing everything to happen, willingness and permitting are what this rune requires. For how can you exercise control over something that is not yet in form? It calls for an act of courage and an empty-handed leap into the void. Like this. Sometimes the runes amaze me. Sometimes the lining up amazing. We literally just talked about jumping off a cliff. And those were the words in the rune description, was jumping.
But are we going to wear cat suits? I want to wear cat suits. So, like,
yes, of course. You can wear
cat. I want to wear cat suits.
Yeah. You'll need some wings, though. Some cat wings or bat wings. Cat.
Bat.
Yeah, so you'll float. Or maybe you'll just take those 9 lives and splat and run off.
Yeah, I definitely loved it because I was in 5th grade and I was the lead for Puss in Boots in my little red boots and everything. It was sweet.
That is sweet.
It was really sweet. Oh, yeah, we did. And I think that's what happens too with consciousness. And when we're speaking more and we're open creatively, the flow starts and you get all these interesting pieces that you're like, oh, we just discussed that. And that just sort of went well over there. Right. And it seems natural, but it's actually all of us creating it, showing up, not giving an F, and just really being in that moment.
Right. The open mind creates an open circuit. Creates an open line, an open, connection.
We got a new lady, Brenda New Hope. Hello, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
So we're just at the part of the segment where we give readings. So if you would like a reading, just leave that in the comments and prepare your vessel in whatever way you feel necessary, whether it's just ask a question, sing a song. It could be whatever works for you, just to get in your chi moment, your beautiful energy moment. And
okay, I'm pulling it hard for Sam.
Sam, this is the end of your reading now?
Yes. I know that one flipped. Hold on. Did you go back? There you go. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it. You jumped on the floor. You were like, I told you to grab me like 6 times and you didn't do it. Okay. So we got the Judgment card. So the Judgment is about resurrection. It's about getting things back that we thought were lost. It's about assessment of our lives, accountability. It's like I believe it's one of the angels resurrecting. It's supposed to be, on the traditional card, it's like a field of dead people being raptured or resurrected. And the King of Cups. Sam, the King of Cups. Cups are about love. Cups are about family. Cups are about connection. And the King of Cups is often, he's a little bit detached in his love. It's love from a, goodness. It's love from a detached place that doesn't feel like love sometimes. And it's love from a place that takes your voice sometimes. So this combination of resurrection and love, judgment and love, with the blank rune, I mean, it kind of says something about reconnecting with someone from your past or from your family or from a male or a strong, detached figure
Mm.
and having something new in that space, or letting go of something so that you can have something new in that space.
Hmm. Yeah, do it.
With
You
that
can do
blank.
it how you want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, well, as well, the for the light workers card that I pulled to was stop overthinking and keep facing your true north. So, like, you really are in the place to make these changes and movements and face your commitments in these relationships. You're just don't overthink yourself. Just really move forward with that. Oh, I gotta
And we
say,
appreciate you saying,
Sam, you're all nicely read. Lisa's here. Lisa's saying hello, beautiful goddesses.
oh,
Hello, Lisa. What's up,
how are you?
girl?
Nice to see you.
And he really enjoyed your reading, or
Okay,
our reading.
very good.
So, would you
It
like to
really
do
took me out,
another
literally. Yeah, who's next? Let's
with
do
the
this.
princess? I think it looks like Lynn took second. So,
All right.
just so that
So,
we know.
okay. You got Raido, which is about a journey. Within this rune is also multiple other runes. Here, I'm going to show you. Okay. So it's about journey, communication, union, and reunion. And within this rune, we have it's always hard for me to do this in reverse. It's the rune for joy, the rune for self, Isa, I, and the rune for opening, which is this little like thing like that, which is Kano, opening and clarity. So this journey has to do with a journey into yourself, experiencing joy, as well as a new perspective, an opened clarity. It talks about the attunement of something that has two sides and two parts, like as above, so below. Inner worth mounts here. And at such a time, you are not intended to rely entirely on your own power. Instead, ask about what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation when addressing these things. And when you're clear, you can neutralize your refusal and resistance to let the right action flow through you. If you are not intent on movement, be content to wait. And while you wait, keep removing those resistances. And as all of the obstructions pull away, your journey, y'all, I'm so sorry. The journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. And union with self, union within. And they have a simple prayer here. I will to will thy will. Now, this is complete faith in the universe. I will
Whoa.
to will thy will,
Mhm.
right? And if we're here to serve, we're here to serve. So lead me down that path. And you have to be willing to take it. I need to get a cough drop, y'all. I apologize. I'm
I agree.
coughing.
We'll see you in a second. So just while she just refreshes, I actually pulled as well the same card I chose to begin with was the thoughts I choose to believe right now are forming my experiences. I now listen to what I say and do not say anything that I do not want to become true for me. So again, the I statements, I am that I am. It's you reflecting back to yourself, gaining wisdom, and communicating through your own device yourself and receiving a message of goodness and creating that within your experience and sharing it. Are you okay there?
Yes. I'll have a little lump. Look, this is my favorite card in
Oh,
the
it's a
deck.
kitty. We
Isn't
love
he
kitty
cute? His
cards.
little sun card. Okay. So this is another for you, Lynn. We're going to continue the communication journey, reunion, union and reunion, union with self.
Yeah.
I really think the words for you is removing resistance,
Mm.
says the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, it has to spin. The Wheel of Fortune spins. If you put your finger in the wheel, you stop it before it gets to where it's supposed to go.
Yeah,
That's
that's great.
resistance. That's resistance, you know. So let's get you another. And the Empress.
Beautiful.
All the loving, all the nurturing, all the caring, every bit of love, mother's love that we could imagine being showered upon us, that's the Empress energy. You are sticking your finger in the wheel before this Empress energy makes its full circuit. You're sticking your finger in the wheel. The resistance is sticking your finger in the wheel before that Empress energy makes a full round to come back to you. You're putting it out, you're giving it out, it's not coming back in the same type of, it's not being received by you with the same type of openness as it is given.
So yeah,
And I
Lynn,
think
this is
that's
the
consistent.
that was for Lynn.
That was for Lynn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's next?
Well, on our list here, Luke came up. Luke.
Luke. Well, I'm not the Time Lord or the Time Master, but since she has brought your name up, Luke, I'm pretty sure that we have enough time.
We're okay. I've got some time this morning. I just have a different schedule. Things are off my usual Thursday.
So we have partnership and gift, which I think you got this exact same rune in one of your other polls. I seem to remember it led to a discussion about your daughter, perhaps. What does the universe want me to talk about with this? There is another aspect of partnership that you are being called to consider. For the path of partnership can lead you to the realization of a still greater union, union with higher self and union with divine. The ultimate gift of this rune is the realization of the divine in all things, and God always enters into equal partnerships. It's the rune of partnership, and it has no reverse because it signifies the gift of freedom from which flows all other gifts.
Freedom. That reminds me of the George Michael song. George Michael actually is in his I think it's his fourth year since he became deceased. I have a friend who's a fanatic over George Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So, but those were the days when music was music, where there was still some music in our music. Oh, did you know that she got her same
Oh,
ruin?
there you go.
Beautiful.
The universe is continuing your journey.
It's so exciting for me. I mean, everything that goes on within the group and our new members and the flow, and I feel quite more liberal in my cards, like nowhere near your level, but like feel really enchanted and like
I always find that funny when you say that. I'm nowhere near your level, please.
no,
I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
like I
I'm
can
not this smart.
formulate the whole thing into like, a document and understand it. That's one thing. And I can understand it in the moment with the person.
Yeah.
But it's really brave that you can get predictive, you know? It's really brave.
I just say whatever they tell me to say. I don't really
But
think
yeah, and
about how
your
something's
guides you're
going.
in touch with too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just let it come out. But that's listening to the divine voice. For anyone who's watching, I did an entire show on how to hear the divine voice. Do you hear the divine voice? And picking it out of the cacophony of the universe, of all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, what the world expects of us, what the, all of that. Yes, indeed, Brenda, when MTV played television,
I want my MTV. Like,
right? I'm a woman of a particular age, and I would stand in my living room and scream
yeah.
Whitesnake in 1986, watching the heavy metal half hour, at 3:30 every day in my living room by myself. I had about 20 minutes before someone came home, and I would just scream at the top of my lungs.
Wow.
Okay, back to Luke. So Luke, this
That's
is a very interesting draw to go with this partnership room. Okay. Basically, we have a card, the Five of Wands, which you can see it looks a little, it looks a little dark. It looks a little sad. It says strife. I think of the Five of Wands as us creating conflict where there doesn't have to be conflict, being defensive, trying to get to the win, but nobody's really fighting us. It's just us fighting ourselves. We're fighting with sticks, right?
oh wow.
And the next one is the Six of Wands. Now, these are not in order in the deck. So the odds that we would get the Five of Wands and the Six of Wands that would come out, obviously not. They're very low. The odds are I would take the bet that it would not come out, but it did. Six of Wands is about victory. So it's about going from this space where we feel like we're fighting against the world, but we really don't have to be fighting against the world. It has to do with how we're seeing our space, how we're seeing how we're moving through it
Whoa.
into victory, into the space of victory. When
Mm.
you release those places where we're fighting unnecessarily, and embrace the partnership, the victory.
Mm.
Whether that's a partnership within yourself,
Wow.
I have a feeling it's a little bit of both. It is within yourself, this fighting against the instinct to, I don't want to say hold a grudge, but to judge based on past behavior, because we're taught that that's what we're supposed to do. And yes, there has to be a level of discernment, but if we can shift how we think about it, even before we shift how we interact with someone, if we just shift how we're thinking about it, it will actually change how we interact without us consciously speaking differently or doing something differently. So it really seems to be connected to something within and external, this partnership that needs to be embraced.
Hmm. So Brenda was more less looking to see if we get any message from spirit.
Brenda. Well, let's see. Okay, so this is Nathis. Nathis is constraint, necessity. Okay, so let's take a look at what it says. And because you've never been here before, let me give you a little speech. Everything I say comes from unconditional love. There is no judgment. I don't know you. I'm not coming for you. I don't know your life. I read from this particular book the actual words that the person who intentioned this with, because the words pop out at me that are related to you. Listen to the phrases, the pictures on the cards that I choose. It's a message for you, not a message for me. So you might understand something or see something in a different way than what I do. Take it how it means for you, because the universe is talking directly to you, okay? The necessity of learning to deal with severe constraint is the lesson of the Nathis. This rune represents the obstacles that we create for ourselves as well as those we encounter in the world around us, and both can be equally difficult to handle. The role of the Northeast is to identify with the shadow side, the places where the growth has been kind of delayed or stunted, and that creates these spaces that tend to get projected onto others, these fears and pains and resistance. Don't take the world personally, is what this rune is saying. Work in the shadow and examine what it is in your nature that is attracting these things. Now, this is not a blame the victim mentality, although many people immediately will get defensive when this sort of a thing comes up. It's about self-examination, self-accountability, self-responsibility, self-awareness, and paying attention to the dark things and the things that cause you to have a strong reaction will lead you to the space where you can heal those spaces, and then you won't have that strong reaction anymore. And this is really talking about when you can look at this with a smile, you will see that the troubles, denials, and setbacks of your lives were actually your teachers, guides, and allies. It's also saying that there may be some holdups and reasons to reconsider your plans. Clearly, there's work to be done on yourself and on the situation. Take it with good humor and perseverance. It's a time to pay off old debts and restore harmony, if not balance. So mend and restore. When fishermen can't go to sea, they repair the nets. Be mindful that rectification must come before progress, and consider the uses of adversity. So what this is really saying to me, Brenda, is that the universe is saying right now you may feel either trapped or constrained by time or location, finances, situation, or just a real general, this is not where I should be, or this needs to be happening a different way. So let's get you a little juice, a little extra juicy cards on top.
I love it when she says a little extra juice. I feel like it's those, a little extra juice and sorry, but not sorry for the shade, or
Right, no shade, no shade,
So
but
I picture myself with an umbrella and a lemonade. And maybe some radishes.
Mm. Okay, so the first thing that came up is the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands talks about carrying a heavy burden, but it's often a voluntary burden that we carry. It's often a voluntary burden. You see that we have this little fox king with his little crown under the moon, you know, the little eel down here at the bottom on fire, and these 10 wands that he's carrying. It's like carrying all the burdens of your life. Imagine if you carried the burdens of every bad thing you've ever done like it was an actual thing, and you had to take it with you every time you went somewhere. Imagine how much baggage we would carry if we continued to carry, how many wands we would carry if we kept holding on to all the places where we blame ourselves, hurt ourselves, carry anger for others, grudges. Then we have these two cards came out together. I haven't looked at them. We have the 7 of Pentacles and the Knave of Swords. Knaves are about a message. They bring a message of truth. And that sword is the sword of truth. And you can see that the things that are hidden down here in this little cave, that dark side, is being poked into by the sword of truth. But the person doing it isn't really sure, either isn't sure what they're doing, or isn't sure what they want to do, or isn't sure how to get it to go through there. Maybe I'll use my teeth. You know, like this person is trying to grow this crown of flowers. They have their crown on their head. They're really putting in as much work as they can, but they can't seem to dig through this covering with their sword of truth, with their 10 swords that they're carrying. That's the space that we need to get into. The 7 of Pentacles usually speaks about watching our harvest grow, about doing the things that need to be done while we're waiting for something to happen. And if you remember, the last line of this was, while the fishermen can't go to sea, they rebuild the nets. On a traditional tarot deck, This is a guy watering a plant that's growing coins. You know, you can't force the things to grow faster. You can't force the transformation to go faster. You can't force the truth to come out faster. You can't make things happen. You can surrender to them. You can allow them to happen. You can embrace them. You can ask to connect. And I feel like, especially, this is like a phoenix up here, pooping out little pentacles, and this little clown guy with his wings cracked off is trying to catch them, thinking that he can catch these falling pentacles, right, while he walks over the lake of fire. When what he should be doing is just sitting back and waiting, allowing things to happen and working on himself. Yeah, pull one, please.
Because these luminous that I, by the way, these are, oh, where did the cover go for these? These are the luminary cards. These are the ones that point towards light workers and, you know, post Lumerian, Atlinian, or, yeah. So I do a lot of study on how many generations of souls have been here and how souls transform. So the Work with Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, she actually really, at times through these cards, I find illuminates maybe where on the path the other individual could be. So we'll just add one more card to that. I'm getting your throat thing all of a sudden.
I've been going in and out of the rain for the last day. So I could stand outside and smoke a little bit. So I've been standing out in the rain for 2 days.
Yeah. Speaking of change, sort of like a switch over on beauty and devotion with this one. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? What is your inner feeling trying to tell you? Are you developing that intuition? Are you listening to it? Are you honing intuition as a sixth sense? And if you are you listening to your power behind that intuition? Are you ready to start claiming your power, reclaiming your power? I don't know. Are you clinging, and what are you clinging to? What are you clinging to? I just keep hearing, let go.
Yeah.
Are we looking at another reading now?
Sure.
Oh, I think we might have one left. Sorry, I just get lost in the meaning. It happens for me.
Yeah.
And Lisa would like one, yes. Lisa would that'll be our last one for today.
You got it. All right, let's grab you a rune. And that one like jumped into my hand. Like you have my little bag, and then I stick my hand in and jiggle the bottom, just a little jiggle like that, and it jumped. Very good, but see them as challenges. Change your wording, shift how you see them like a video game, like it's a challenge, it's fun. We're going to get through this. I'm going to learn something new. It's going to be great, even though it might hurt.
Yeah, because then you get the higher vibrational frequency to move
you
through
as it. As you reveal yourself to be more open to whomever you believe is surrounding you, guides, angels, whatever, as you reveal yourself to be more open and moldable to unconditional love, they will step in and do more with you. They will step in and be able to speak more directly with you, mold you more, intuit with you more. The more you allow it, the more it will happen. It's literally just shifting your mindset of that, not seeing the obstacles and embracing the connection instead.
But really, that was my favorite comment from today. I was like, whoa.
Heck yeah. Okay, so we have a Fehu, which is the rune of possessions and nourishment.
And just so you know, Lisa, if you're out there, I hope you're out there, Silk Girl. This is for you. I would love a message in regards to work in my entrepreneurship journey.
What? And I pulled the rune of possessions, nourishment, and cattle. They knew what you wanted to ask. See, I'm like a tool. I'm a tool. They don't even need me. They just need me for my mouthpiece. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like I
I
don't even need
know.
the question. They're like, we don't care what she writes down. We know what she wants to know.
Yeah.
So funny. Okay. So Fehu is the rune of fulfillment, ambition satisfied, love shared, rewards received. It promises nourishment from the most worldly to the sacred and divine. For if the ancient principle, as above, so below, holds true, then we are also here to nourish God. Our success nourishes the universe as the universe nourishes us. This rune also calls for a deep probing of the meaning of profit and gain in your life. Look with care to know whether it is wealth and possessions you require for your well-being, or rather self-rule and growth of will. Also, vigilance. Conserve what has already been gained and don't collapse yourself into good fortune. Enjoy it and share it, for the mark of a well-nourished self is the ability and willingness to nourish others. All right, let's grab you a card. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? All right, they're telling me to go in my little box. I'm gonna get you a special one. Hold up. I know you're down here. I know you want to come out. It's a special deck. I'm sorry. I don't usually use it because it's very shiny, and so it reflects the light, my little ring light here, but my ring light's pretty much close to dead at this point, so I think it'll be all right. Let's see her now. A little bit about that Fehu. This question. What do you need her to know?
Lisa, we're really pulling for you. I'm doing it. I'm getting the energy. It's like, whew, I just got to bump up. I guess I just took another level up with that one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had 3 that jumped out together, and they're amplified here. The last one was by the Ace of Swords. Okay, that's the gift of truth, the gift of truth from the universe, truth in yourself, truth within. We have these 3 that came out together. Very interesting. Again, I really feel like this has been a theme of the week. This 5 of Wands. This is the second reading where the 5 of Wands has come out, where we're in a space of conflict with ourselves, where we create conflict. But I think that this is a cautionary, because you also have the 7 of Pentacles, which obviously was in the last reading very prominently. So we have this 7 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. It's really speaking about being able to sit right here as you watch things grow, right? Having faith in the world, that it's all coming out the way it is, that the world is at your feet, and not creating conflict and problems where there doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but you're basically, what I'm getting on my end is that she's actually working to unconstruct structures that were made in her business. So it's part of her mind state to stay strong, to not go with the old pattern and ways of doing things, and to unleash a new pattern to her people and herself. And that she has been fighting this kind of a battle throughout the process, definitely. Um, does it stand in your way? Definitely not. You're truly in the battle. And unless you keep moving forward, it's going to paralyze the energy that you created. So continue to move forward in every one of your positivities and your thoughts, and that nurturance and that self-nurturance, and then what you're sharing in your groups, with your business and your family about your business. And don't let any of those old patterns or old thoughts, and old ways of doing things I keep hearing really get in the way. You have this, girl. You've got
Yeah.
it. But it's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure, I feel.
Yeah. And that's this Ace of Swords is that truth of doing it in this correct way or in the way that the universe is directing. On the bottom of that deck, Queen of Pentacles energy. So Pentacles are money. Queen of Pentacles has all the plans, all the money, all the luxury, knows how to get it, knows how to work it, and is loving the same. All right, very good. I'm glad. That makes me very happy. Get it.
So, everyone, we came in today with another amazing lesson. So many vibrations, so many willing participants, ready to be in the fullness of themselves, their power, their beingness, their spiritual beingness, taking time to love oneself and also acknowledge your inner gifts. As crazy as this world might get, we're doing it and we keep moving forward. And I think it's a blessing. And thank you to the Spirituality Gone Wild Network. It's really exciting to be on there with them too. Check out Spirituality Gone Wild. They have lots of amazing people that do wonderful things with readings and astrology and stream. David's stream. So many beautiful, wonderful videos to watch. And thank you, Lee. I just love everyone so much. I just feel the need to say that again because I'm like really amazed at how these are going. And I really look forward to the next session.
I do too. Our next session will be in 2022.
222. Whoa.
Yes. And we have lots of exciting things coming up where Nicole and I are collaborating on different group experiences, as well as some classes and all kinds of different stuff. So you should definitely stay tuned. If you want me to put your name on an email list where every time we put out a new class or do a new thing off the beaten trail of this beautiful show that we're doing once a week, I'll send out an email and you'll know about it and you'll be able to come and jump in with us and go on this journey. Because look, I'm gonna say it straight up. And I know that Nicole is on this with me. We are not just sitting here talking about shit. We're living it in our everyday life, just like you guys are. Like, we go through it. Like, we may come on here and look all smiley and happy, and look, we're making jokes about everything falling apart. But we're both living regular life every day, just like you are, going through it and doing the work. And I'm proud of every single one of you that's sticking in there and doing the work. Because how many people do you know dropped off? And love to them and light to them. And I hope that they come back. But every one of you that's sticking in there and really, doing this hard work and taking accountability for our own energy, which is the most important, space, embracing that. I just appreciate every single one of you. And we're all in this together. We're all doing this together. We all have a stake in this. And I'm super excited for what's coming next because I think it's going to be a really big year.
It is definitely. Keep showing up and keep doing your stuff. It's wonderful. See you all next week.
Yeah. You are beloved. You matter. You are loved.
Okay, wait. Go.